on? It's your man Cas
and Bell.
and we are here with another Divorce Not an Option, the show where we talk about relationships and help you with our 22 years of experience, almost 23 now.
Yeah, November.
I know,
No,
November.
actually October.
October
October 9th.
Yes, we're 23 years.
Yeah.
So this episode is a special one. As you can see, the scenery is definitely different. We are out in Turks
and Caicos.
Turks and Caicos,
Yes.
right?
Turks
Did
and
I say it
Caicos.
right?
Yes.
We're out in Kirk and
Just say Turks and Caicos.
Turks
U.S.
and
Virgin
Caicos.
Island. Turks
yeah,
and
what
Caicos.
she said. So we're out here, and this one is about how important it is for couples to get away. I think one of the most important things that we have done in our relationship is do trips like this. And I always noticed that the times in our relationship that weren't the best, that weren't the strongest, was when we didn't take trips.
Yeah.
I've noticed that because there was a time we didn't take trips. It was rough, and whether it was personal stuff or just us, not together or just really focused on us. But those always were the rough times that we didn't take that times for ourselves to go and to travel. So what was your idea about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with that. I do think, there's all these different approaches out there that couples will follow. Some will follow the 2-2-2, meaning that every, 2 years they'll travel or they'll do a date, or some people follow.
Wait, the 2-2 route, I just saw this.
Yeah.
The 2-2 is like every 2 weeks do a date.
Every 2 months
do a
staycation or whatever it is. And every 2 years
do a big travel.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that's enough.
I mean, you know what? We can't really. It depends on your budget, right? So
that is true, too.
Not everyone can
too.
afford to go on vacation every year. Especially with today's times. I mean, not everyone can.
Yeah.
So so sometimes that you do have to save up to go into a bigger trip. Once a year or whatever, which is fine. I do think though, as long as you're still incorporating the date nights and such, I think that's fine.
Yeah, definitely. I think it puts you in a different atmosphere. It takes you out, because I think every day in a relationship, it gets, I'm not going to say boring, but it gets routine. And if you're in the same house, going to the same movie theater, going to the same restaurant, it gets really repetitive.
It does.
Right? And it doesn't allow you to, one, see your spouse out in a different outfit, because I ain't going to lie, every time we go on a trip, I love to see my woman in a bikini, in a bathing suit. I love it. I mean, besides, the natural, birth suit. But, I like that. And then, it adds that spice again. And then when you're in a different environment, it just brings a different mentality,
Yeah.
It wants you to explore. You enjoy your spouse in a different setting than usual, because when you're home, you have kids and work and every day. With us, we have dance practice for the kids, and our son was just getting his driver's license, so driving lessons and this and that. Everything is so mundane that you kind of separate.
And you forget about each other, about spending that little time, like that really connection.
Yeah, and then also. And I know people like date night, and date nights are great. But the problem I have with date nights is this: we go out, right? We get dressed up, we go out, and we have a phenomenal time out. But then right afterwards, you're right back in the situation.
You are.
There's no time to decompress. There's no time to really enjoy. You have to enjoy it for the few hours you can. Get it in as fast as you can, the enjoyment. But then you're right back to regular life. Which, I mean, you still do need date night, I think. But it does it doesn't make you decompress all the pressures. Right now we're in Turks and Caicos. We're on the boat. We're shout out to Virgin. We're doing a cover of Virgin for a couple of credits. But, and we're just allowed to relax. No responsibility, no kids, no, I got to cook, I got to clean, I got to fix something in the house, I got to mow the lawn. There's none of that. You're allowed to just decompress with your spouse and just relax and have a good time with them.
I agree. I totally agree.
You know what I'm saying? So what other things would you suggest when it comes to couples and connections and trips and stuff like that? What is it you think
Well, I mean,
should happen?
Well, I mean, I think again, when you do go on the trip, I think it's time for couples to like disconnect, right? So, like for instance, if you're taking a cruise, even if you purchased a Wi-Fi package like us, you still got to put the phone down and disconnect, so that way you can spend time together. You can, enjoy each other because that's the whole point.
That's true.
Right.
We have been like hitting up our kids and how you doing and what's going on. So we got practice a little bit better.
And we put our phones
but we
down.
we do put phones
But
down.
we do need to check on our kids. It's the first time they're home.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So so that's one thing. So at the end, they're not home alone people. I want people like damn leaving. No, not they're not. They're with people, but still they're still not with us. So so we check it up on them. But it is time put down the phone. I think that's like probably the number one thing is to put down the phones, because I think the phone is something that now it's like our third arm. It's attached to us all day long. So you need to put down the phone and just disconnect from everything. Disconnect from Facebook, disconnect from TikTok, Instagram, OnlyFans.
Yeah, whatever.
We don't have
whatever
OnlyFans
you
people.
got, just disconnect.
Yeah,
from
you have to
that.
disconnect, because I think at that time you have to focus on the connection with your spouse. You have to connect again. And I think because we have so many distractions in our everyday life, we forget to disconnect. We disconnect from our spouse because we have all these things going on. You know what I mean? So, when you have high demand jobs as well, like we do, every day is like work, kids, school, work, it's very high demand. So this is the time to disconnect. One thing I would say, and I used to do this, which was bad when I first started my job, my high-end job. I used to work. I remember the first cruise we took when I got that job, and because I'm a project manager. If nobody, people, I was working on the boat. I was literally working on the boat, conference calls on the boat. Then we took another trip to New York. And I was in the hotel working. Now, I'm not saying that if you have to work. Don't get me wrong. Do not go on vacation because you have to work. If you have to work because you have a job like that, that's do what you got to do. But there's a point of having to work and wanting to work because you're just a workaholic. And I could say maybe the first trip was me being scared of if a project was due or something was coming up, where I could have probably took off and not done. I think when we went to New York, I had to work because it was during the time that things were happening. But during the first trip, I could have taken off. You know what I'm saying? And I learned my lesson. Like this trip, I'm off. Like there ain't nothing they could do that's going to hit me up and for me to work this trip. Because at the end of the day, this is a time for me and my wife to spend together and connect and work on content like we're doing right now.
Yes, I agree.
That's it? You disagree?
Yes, I agree. I mean, you don't say it all. What you want me to say?
Well, as you hear, you hear the music in the background. We're gonna start doing more of these types of things with couple with divorce not an option, because we feel that like our lives are life lessons to other couples. Because we've been through it all. We've been through the ups and downs, and even recently we experienced some deaths, some tragic things in the last 8 months that's happened. Some medical. We've experienced a lot of stuff in the last few months, and taking a trip like this is just so relaxing. Thank God, the Lord has brought us through everything, but this is the payoff. We're here on this beautiful island. We're enjoying each other, and we're just able to relax. And just also, sometimes you need this to process everything going on, because I think when you're in life and your life is life you don't get an opportunity to process everything. You're just going. You're just reacting to stuff. Something comes up, you're reacting to it. Something happens, you're reacting to it. So at the end of the day, I think it's very important that you're able to do this type of vacation to just process things.
Yeah.
Because it's rough to process during it. Because when you have passing or medical issues or just problems or whatever going on, you just reacting, you're reacting, but you never get to relax and process. And I think a vacation, definitely lets you to process it. I know the other day, we were walking around and we were just talking about our content creation, where we're taking it, what we want to do. And, it was a great conversation because when we're home, because I'm going to be real, when we were home, I said, baby, when we're on the boat, we're going to talk about, our content creation, what we're going to do, how we're doing it. And she was like, why we have to do it on a boat? And I was like, baby, because it's just a different environment. She's like, okay. But then when we were on the boat and we were talking, it was a really productive conversation. We were able to have real talk, real connection, and really a clear view of like, all right, where we're taking our content, where we're taking what we're doing. So what do you think about that, baby?
No, I agree. I agree. So we had conversations. It's good to get out. It's good to experience, a different areas of life together and kind of vacation together and just bring you closer, talk to each other, enjoy each other's time. And that's about it.
Yeah, I think she's not talking so much because she's so relaxed right now. She's like, I want to get in that water. I want to relax and chill. But yeah, so yeah, it's definitely very important for you to go out, take vacations. Like I said, the staycations are good. The date nights are good as well. But you have to do this type of vacation.
Yeah.
If you really want to bond with your spouse, see them in a different light, and just enjoy being together. Because I think a lot of times people in relationships don't enjoy being together anymore. They don't enjoy life. And things like this helps you to enjoy life.
Yes, definitely enjoying each other, spending time with each other. I think those are all good reasons why couples should take vacations. So.
Yeah, definitely. You are not talkative today, my love. You are not talkative. You're beautiful. So you're just a model today.
I am. Well, I think it's so important because we already talked about the important aspects and why, and I think it's good. We don't, so I'm not talking a lot because we already stated all. Within the last 10 minutes. So I think it's a very good show. Very good. I think people understand what we're trying to let them know. Take vacations, guys.
Yeah, take vacations. Enjoy each other. And make sure you make it a priority. Don't make it something that you do every 5-6 years. Do it regularly. Now, of course, budget. Budget. Whatever. But you don't have to necessarily take a cruise. Rent a hotel room at a resort. I mean, wherever you live, have hotels.
But that's staycations, though.
I mean, what is
But those are staycations.
Wait, okay, so you know what? This is a good topic. What is a staycation?
A staycation.
A recreation?
So a staycation is basically you staying in a different, hotel or resort, whatever it is in your town. So you didn't leave your city. You're still in your city.
So a
that's
staycation, because I never really got what a staycation was. So a staycation is pretty much anywhere you go overnight in your city,
town. Yeah.
In your town. So what? All right. So is that like town, county? Like we live in Orlando, right? So let's say we go to Daytona Beach. Is that a staycation?
That is a staycation.
Wait, but that's
we didn't leave the state. We're still there.
So staycation is the state.
Yeah, you didn't leave the state. We're still there. It's a staycation.
So if we go to Key West, that's a staycation?
Well, Key West is different because Key West is about 10 hours, first of all.
But it's still in the state, though.
Well, no, it's further down the tip of the state. So I would think that that would not be a staycation because that is you driving in the car for 8-10 hours.
So what about if we went to Jacksonville, which is 3 hours away?
Well, I don't think that's a staycation either. I mean, I would call that a mini vacation.
So now there's mini vacations.
Yes, there is. So that would be like a mini vacation.
So wait. So staycation is staycation
is around your town. Staying somewhere around your town.
Or in the region
of your town. Mini vacation.
A mini vacation is anywhere over 2 hours?
2 hours driving
over 2 hour
there.
drives.
And that's a mini vacation.
Okay.
And you're there for a couple of days. Even if you're there for just one, a day or 2 days, that's a mini vacation.
But regardless, any of those definitions, you have to stay overnight.
Yes.
You can't go for a few hours.
Yeah, you can't go for a few hours and back.
But can a staycation be a few hours and back, or that's just a date?
It can be.
Or is that
but
just a
I
date?
would consider it a date, though. I'll be considered because
it's the same day.
Yeah, because it's the same day. Because you could drive there, spend some time together, and then drive back. I think that's a date.
So if it's not overnight, it's not a staycation or mini vacation or vacation. That's a date. If it's in your town or in your surrounding town, that's a staycation, and it has to be overnight.
Yeah.
Right? A mini vacation is you go more than 2 hours away and stay overnight. That's a mini vacation.
That's a mini vacation.
So, and a vacation is out of the state.
Out of the state period, and just
unless it's over 10 hours, like Key West.
Oh yeah, Key West is definitely a vacation. I mean, anyone who's driven to Key West will tell you it is not a staycation.
Well, what about people
because you done spent half the day driving there?
What about people that live in like Miami and they go to Key West? Would that be
That's
a
staycation?
That's staycation.
That's
for them?
Staycation because it's only 2 hours. No, actually it's 3-4 hours. That's a staycation.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So I guess we have ironed out what staycations, mini vacation, and
Bell's
vacations are,
definitions.
and the Bell's definition. I think I'm gonna put that into the comments, into the description of Bell's. Maybe we should an article.
Yeah, and let what our audience think.
Yeah, what they think about that. So I mean, I think we're good. We did a good 15 minutes of I don't want to keep it too long. I feel like mini celebrities because we have a whole bunch of people passing us, smiling at us, looking at us like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Which is cool. So take vacations. Don't do mini vacation. Do them all.
No, do them all.
Do them all.
You do need to do them all. Do the date nights, do the staycation, do the mini vacation, and then do the real vacation.
Okay, so do them all according to Bell. Do them all. But don't skip on them. And also, depending on your budget. Because, there are a lot of cheap deals out there.
There is.
Cruises is definitely a deal. It includes food, boarding, and stuff like that. So cruises is definitely a great thing as well. Also, last thing before we go, don't do vacations that is very troublesome to do. Like, try to avoid the vacations where you got to take 80 planes to get there, and then you have to hike up a mountain. Not unless you're into that. But I don't think that's a really vacation.
I love that vacation though.
Like you gotta take 40.
We've done it and I love it and I wanna. Yes, I think it's great. The vacation where it takes you a whole day to get there. Yeah.
Like next year we're planning on going to Japan.
Yes. Yeah.
Which that's going to be phenomenal. But so that's a vacation. To me, that seems like international exploration.
What?
What?
International exploration.
Which is a
That's
vacation.
just a vacation.
Okay, you know what? Let me stop because now I'm just going on. All right. Well, we appreciate you for tuning in with us. Always go to divorcenotoption.com. You can check us out. Go to casnandbell.com. We have a new page up, so check it out as well. Where everything we do on there. Definitely check out a couple of critics. I know we're gonna have a review of this vacation at Virgin Cruise Line that we were on, which is phenomenal. But we'll talk more detail there with videos and stuff like that. Definitely check out our podcast because we're going to be doing videos still, but we're going to be doing a lot more podcasts as well with it. So definitely just go to the Divorce Not an Option page and check out the podcast, check out the videos, and we're going to get a lot more interactive, a lot more content creating that we're going to do with that. All right. Anything you guys say?
No, that's all.
Oh, definitely
Thanks,
check out the product line, culture.skin. Get you know what I'm saying? Right now we're glowing because we got it on us and it's helping us with our sun and we smell good. Look good. All right. Well, until next time.